Hey friends, Caleb Townsend of Factor here. I'm with my colleague Luke Neely, and we're talking about email prospecting today. So email is a tool we believe and we use and we see results for our clients that can be used on a mass outreach campaign, but you can do it right and you can do it wrong. So we've got 3 tips here today for you to do your own email prospecting. So Luke, you want to go over the first one here?
Absolutely. So I'm writing emails all the time and I see what kind of responses we get. The first thing I wrote is be concise. Typically we put together 4 lines or less in our first introductory email when we're emailing somebody, just to make sure we can communicate something quickly and not too long. We want them to be able to glance at it really fast and not be overwhelmed by the amount of text there. So we try to keep things really slimmed down, but be clear with our offering at first.
So it's good. So it's basically like you just sent an email over, like you crafted it native. So even if you're using templates and mass outreach campaign, it looks and feels like it's a native sent email.
Exactly. So you can almost think about it like if you were to write something really fast and sit down and just fire something off to that person and make it feel somewhat personal, but still quickly convey your message is kind of what we're going for.
All right, number 2, have a little edge. What do you mean by that, Luke?
Yeah, so I like to constantly encourage my clients to be a little bit edgier and not be so afraid of offending people. A lot of times we can be too reserved and feel like we have to be professional and businessy, but that's not how people actually talk. So we're trying to get people away from being too polite or too reserved in their messaging, because that's what everybody does. So if we can kind of push people towards saying things a little rougher or edgier, like in a follow-up email, hey, am I barking up the wrong tree here, or something that just throws people off and gets them to respond or think a little bit differently.
Not inappropriate.
Right, not inappropriate,
but just a little edge.
Exactly.
I like that. All right, and then lastly, remove the work of scheduling. So that sounds obvious, but what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so if you can kind of create an opportunity for the person that you're trying to reach out to, if you can remove any obstacle of scheduling a call with you, you can do that by offering days and times that work for you. And maybe that doesn't work for them, but they might say, hey, that day doesn't work with me or for me, but I can do this day. So they're going to you're removing the work of scheduling by saying what works for you, which actually helps them.
Yeah, and I think click on this link to schedule is putting too much work on them. You want to take the work away, but also kind of narrow in on how you can take the next steps if there's an interest there. So
right,
exactly. Is that what you mean by that?
Exactly.
Well, hopefully you got a nugget or two. We'll be back with more tips on how to sell in the manufacturing world.